Bon dia, welcome to the 25th edition of ACCIÓ's Investment Forum. First of all, I would like to ask the Minister of Business and Knowledge, Mr. Ramon Tremosa, to make the opening remarks of this Investment Forum.
Bon dia, benvinguts a la 25a edició del Fòrum d'Inversió. Good morning, goedemorgen. Welcome to all the representatives, especially those from the Netherlands, the guest country at this year's edition of the Investment Forum of Catalonia. Today, you have the opportunity to expand your knowledge of Catalonia and its competitive economy. As you know, today this forum is celebrating its 25th edition. From the very beginning, the Catalan government has guided and supported it. Today we present the best startups to local and international investors. That makes this forum the main meeting point for entrepreneurs, investors, and major companies from Catalonia, including angel investors, venture capital firms, and other alternative sources of funding. The finalist startups from the last 10 editions of the ACCIÓ Investment Forum have attracted 282 million euros in funding from private investors, venture capital firms, and other public sources of funding. During this period, the forum has served as a magnificent showcase for projects promoting initiatives that need alternative sources of funding in order to grow and consolidate their projects, allocating capital, talent, and R&D in startups as Redpoints, Minorix Therapeutics, Palo Biopharma, BCN 3D, Voz Telecom, Stat DX. All those startups are outstanding examples of how to move forward, attract funding, and then translate it into growth and job creation. None of the editions of this forum would have been possible without the entrepreneurial ecosystem of Catalonia that we all have worked to support in a process of public-private cooperation. This year's long effort has resulted in an outstanding and internationally expanding ecosystem made up of more than 100,000 startups. Catalonia is the #1 hub for the startups in Southern Europe, a position we want to consolidate and which brings us closer to the continent's other leading hubs, such as the Netherlands, where ACCIÓ has an office in Amsterdam. In the last 5 years, Barcelona has attracted nearly 2.7 billion euros in private investment coming from abroad. In terms of investment raised, Catalonia is near the top position in Europe. As many of you know, an important factor in the development of this entrepreneurial ecosystem has been the existence of alternative sources of funding. This kind of funding enables startups to innovate and grow. Catalonia is the top Spanish region in terms of attracting venture capital. According to data from the Spanish Venture Capital and Private Equity Association, last year, venture capital firms made 129 investments in Catalonia, for a total of 385 million euros. The Catalan government will continue to support alternative funding as a complement to bank loans. Finally, I wish the very best of luck to all those attending this 25th edition of the Forum. Congratulations to everyone involved in making this event happen. Regardless of who wins the individual awards, the quality and ambition of the startups presented is outstanding across the board. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Minister, for your opening remarks. And now let's move to the next stage of this investment forum, that will be in English due to its international audience and the the level of the Catalan startups. So I'm delighted to inform you that this 25th edition of the Investment Forum keynote speakers is Marleen Evertsz, founder and CEO of nxchange, a global capital market that supports the trade of any object of value. She's currently based in Amsterdam, the country where the is guest this year's. But thanks to technology, she's going to be with us. Her speech is going to be investing in the 21st century, technology to empower startups and investors. Please, Marleen, the screen is yours.
Good morning, Fòrum de Inversie. Thank you for having me here as your keynote speaker. My name is Marleen Evertsz, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of nxchange. And today I'm here to talk about the newest developments in capital markets and the challenges and opportunities of financing innovations and startups in Europe. Whether you are a startup or investor, let's be honest, there is so much going on at the moment. So let's take 2017. We saw these ICOs, blockchain technology, popping up everywhere. And loads of initiatives got funded. And as a result, we saw the regulators jumping in on those ICOs and increasing the regulatory scrutiny on raising capital. We also saw that interest rates are going down to record low levels. We pay negative interest at the moment. We see that the transformation to a more sustainable economy is needed, and for that, huge amounts of investments are required in innovation and technology. And unfortunately, as we are all well aware, we have COVID-19 going on at the moment, which prohibits us from interaction with each other, but on the other side, really creates a globalization. It creates a situation where being in contact with someone does not always need to be physical. So the capital markets and the world of investment is transforming so rapidly. But the biggest questions remain. So how does money find the right investments? How do we finance new technology and innovation? Considering the size and capital needed to create change, in my opinion, we need to focus on professional and institutional investors. Financing new technology or new companies generally does not fit their mandate, and that's a problem. So from a risk perspective, we see this as unproven technology or companies. Financing new startups is a challenge in itself. And that has all to do with the fact that it's hard to diversify in something that's new, that's not proven yet. And the size of the investment is often way too small. The access to these startups is almost impossible to get a constant flow of offerings to these institutional investors. But these are things that we can reorganize. These are things where we can be innovative, but more from a capital market perspective. Because if we don't fix this, we see that the startups result ending up getting financed by friends, fools, and families or subsidies. They might not even make it to the end line. And to finance innovation, that is a big thing to do, where it's so key to our countries, where it's so key that we make this step forward. We let the startups and we let the people that drive innovation spend 80% of their time or even more raising capital instead. Whereas they should be focused on building their companies, developing their new ideas. So if we want change, something has got to happen. But there are also some opportunities which are arriving. We see that there's a massive upcoming of social media, which has been going on for years already, but it's now socially so accepted already. And also new technology creates new opportunities. And by using this new technology and new social media, we can combine the power of the upcoming communities with financial innovation. And we can use that and apply that to financing our startups. So we see security tokens offerings popping up everywhere. And I would like to take that as an example. Billions of money was invested in companies that previously could not be invested in. But this was done on a global scale by multiple investors. So if you take the security token offering as itself, it's nothing different than a security offering. We talk about ACCIÓ, but the ACCIÓ is nothing different than an IPO when it considers a security. But we can use this IPO mechanism that we have been using for decades to finance new technology and new initiatives. We can use that same mechanism to do that now. But we do need some innovation in that approach because it considers a heavily regulated market, and it's not an easy task for a startup to be a publicly listed company. So here are some ideas as to how you can use the capital markets, whether public or not, to finance your startups. You can use asset-backed financing. Asset-backed financing is something that I truly like a lot. It considers financing your assets instead of your company. So suppose you have this large transportation company. Why not finance your assets instead of your company? Because the assets have a consistent stream of income. The risk can be calculated pretty transparently. And for an investor, whereas they don't only have your contracts that you have as a company to exploit those assets, but they also have the assets themselves as a backup of their financing. But you might not be big enough to do that yet, because, what happens if you only have one asset that you can finance? Then you can create a lease structure or something like that. But keep it in mind, because I think that in the future of capital markets, we will be financing assets on a large scale. So why not finance your bicycle? Why not finance your car? Why not finance your household for the time that you use it? Another example of a financial innovation is revenue-based financing. Financing your future revenue stream instead of your company. So suppose that you need to develop this new machine or this new prototype. So why not finance your future revenue stream if you have someone that would like to buy your product? Why not let them finance the development of your new technology or your new prototype? Again, this all is not really suitable to fund only one asset at a single level, because the size of what needs to be financed most likely is not large enough to offer to the larger market. At least, if we want to offer it, we need to organize the market. And that's why we came up with a new concept in the Netherlands, and we jointly do this. We are set together with the regulators, with law firms, with technology providers, and we've created a new concept called vertical financing. And what is this vertical financing about? You basically finance a virtual basket of ventures, and we offer it as one investment opportunity to the market. We connect this virtual basket of ventures to a professional program manager. And as you might recognize, a lot of things that are similar to raising capital for a fund, I have to maybe disappoint you, but it's not a fund, because the single companies are listed to the secondary market. And what kind of opportunities does that give? Well, the opportunities opportunities it's giving is that the investor can basically create their own baskets. So you can make multiple combinations. For example, suppose you are an investor who would like to invest in sustainability. You will pick the assets that are categorized with a sustainability label. Or where you want to invest in real estate, there might be sustainable investments that have a real estate component in it. And that's how we can create multiple portfolios from multiple angles, because every investor has their own taste, their own risk profile, their own assets they would like to finance. And then where the new innovation comes at play is where we can not only trade the separate companies, but where we can trade the whole vertical as a virtual basket of ventures in the secondary market, which diminishes the risk of in pricing, which increases the liquidity, and moreover allows more investors to participate, because these companies are now regulated under a publicly listed umbrella to the future. So this is one of the examples that we are using. And we see we have a real-life case where at the moment we are financing 30 deep tech ventures of High-Tech Excel. High-Tech Excel is the venture builder of Philips and ASML. We all probably know these two companies. And High-Tech Excel is building 30 deep tech ventures who all create solutions for large problems that need to be resolved. And these ventures all have a capital need. They all have a funding need. So instead of financing one venture after the other, we now finance a bucket or a virtual basket of 30 ventures at once. And we raise in total 36 million in equity and in venture debt to finance those 30 ventures. And instead of letting the entrepreneurs chasing the capital, we now connect them to certain milestones that they need to reach. And every time they reach a milestone, they get an unlocked new bucket of cash ready to go into the next phase of the development of their company. This is one of the ideas, and there are so many more. So instead of getting yourself knocked down by the whole global situation, I would like to challenge you to look at the opportunities instead, to collaborate and to really focus on joint offerings. Look at thematic financing. Don't only look at yourself, look at the whole chain of which your company or your idea might be part of. And keep the global economy in your mind. Investors at this moment are everywhere. They're not only in Spain, they're not only in the Netherlands, but they are in the whole wide world. And by using the smart toolings, you can get access to them. I really would like to thank you. I've enjoyed my presentation today. I hope you did as well. If you have any questions, always feel free to contact me. You can always find me on LinkedIn or through nxchange. Thank you very much and good luck in your future.
Okay, thank you, Marleen. Thank you for the insights. I believe this has been an inspirational talk, and a lot of investors and also entrepreneurs are going to think about new ways to do things. Well, first of all, let me say that this is not the investment forum that we had in mind. Okay, due to pandemics, everything changed, but we are really happy on how the founders, entrepreneurs, the investors, and yourself have quickly adapted to it. Okay. So having said that, we're going to move to our collaborators, okay? And we're going to, before that, we're going to state that we have 3 blocks: the block of life sciences, the block of ICT, and the block of other technologies. As I said, we would like to thank and recognize the contribution of our collaborators, LIC and DWF RCD, for their constant support and their willingness to contribute to the Catalan startup community. Those collaborators would like to award some of those startups. And in the case of LIC, a global communication and public affairs consulting firm, awards Droplight, Human IT Care, and Advanced Air Mobility with a 4-hour counseling prize on communication. Thank you, Marc Altès from LIC, for those useful awards. On the other hand, besides the online session on what to do when you, what you need to scale your startup, DWF RCD, a global, dynamic, and innovative law firm, awards Human IT Care, Freeverse, and Isimo, with 8 hours each of legal advice. Thank you, Ignasi Costas from DWF RCD, for being that supportive. And now, we are going to unveil the 3 startups in the life sciences field, the ITC field, and the other technologies field, chosen by your votes, and the ones from the investors that are in the panel. The people's votes, as you know, come from the Fòrum's platform, where you could watch the 21 video pitches, and the ones from the investors come from attending the training sessions that we did with them before, just trying to train the 1-minute pitch and the 5-minute pitches. Let me tell you that up to 50 one-pagers are published in the startup's catalog, available in Catalan and in English. This catalog includes the 21 finalists, and of course, the 9 ones that are going to make a 5-minute speech. Moreover, an investor from the panel is going to ask a question. So now that the 9 startups are chosen and ready, let's discover them. The first 3 startups are from the life sciences field, a field that we deeply love. First of all, let me introduce you the investors panel, who are online due to the pandemic situation. Coming from the Netherlands, we have Dide Brunen, associate from Biogeneration Ventures. Please, Dide, can you tell us a little bit more about Biogeneration Ventures? Well, Dide, it seems like we cannot hear you. Can you unmute yourself, please? We still don't hear you. Well, you know, sometimes we have some technical difficulties, okay? And when we are trying to solve this, we're going to move to the other investors, okay? We have also Clara Campas, managing partners at Asavis Partners, and Antonio Erce, associate at Inverready. Thanks for being with us.
Morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Is it working? Can you hear you? No. Okay, so we're going to move to the first startup, okay? The first startup is going to be introduced by its CEO and co-founder, Dr. Jordi Martorell.
Yes, I hope the microphone works now.
Okay, so if it's working, we would like to know a little more about Biogeneration Ventures. Dida, please, go ahead.
Okay, well, hopefully you can hear me now. So thank you for having the chance to participate in this forum. Yeah, can I give a bit more background? We are a Netherlands-based venture capital fund, located close to Amsterdam. We've been investing since 2006 in early-stage life science companies in Europe. I'm currently investing from our summer, and it's approximately 125 million. And we're really investing in companies developing novel therapeutics and not medtech diagnostics anymore. So our goal is really to bring promising science from Europe to the global pharmacy, and we do this by investing in spin-outs from academic institutes, really based in world-class science, and help these founders create companies and then guide them to create a successful company, move the asset into the clinic, and then do an exit either through an IPO or a transaction. It's been quite a successful model over the years. So we have had a number of exits like Acerta Pharma, Argenx, Staten, demonstrating that even with early stage investments, you build successful companies. We have quite a strong investor base, so this includes the typical investors, but also two pharma parties, BMS and Eli Lilly, which are just there to have an overview of what's going on in Europe and early stage life science opportunities. And I think besides good financial returns for our investors, we are also proud to demonstrate good clinical impact. We have 3 marketed products and 10 products in the clinic. So yeah, if you would like to reach out, if you have an interesting proposition, then visit our website or contact me through the investment forum.
Yeah, thank you. We all know your address. We know yourself. So everybody who wants to contact you can do it. So now we're going to move to the first startup of this block, okay? The first startup is Aortix, and it's going to be presented by Dr. Jordi Martorell, its founder and CEO. Please go ahead, Jordi.
Aortix is incredibly proud to have received the Alex Casta Award in 2020. Alex was a leading figure in the European healthcare network and the Catalan ecosystem, and he was a wonderful man. Sadly, he passed 2 years ago due to an aortic disease. The aorta is the largest artery in the body. It is like a river, and life flows through it. Sometimes a tear can break the aortic wall. This is called aortic dissection. It can happen to the elderly, to smokers, to people with hypertension, but also to young people with undetected genetic diseases. It has an extremely high mortality of up to 50%. And despite that, current treatments present severe limitations and must be replaced. In open repair, a synthetic graft replaces the damaged vessel. It is the preferred option for physicians, but it is very, very invasive, and patients die during the operation. And the vascular repair reduces this invasiveness by delivering the graft with a catheter, and this reduces mortality drastically. Sadly, the graft tends to fail over time due to a mechanical mismatch between the graft and the aorta. Those patients too unstable to survive any type of surgery receive medical therapy, but their survival rates are way too low. Last year, one of the worldwide pioneers in endovascular surgery stated that we urgently need innovative devices and that companies are not delivering the required innovations. To solve this unmet clinical need, Aortix was founded by the top 10 aortic surgeon in the world, Dr. Riambau, and the perfect combination of chemists, engineers, and him. He gives us the end user requirements and promotes our progress in medical conferences, and this is where we try to change the paradigm of how this is treated. We have invented and patented a disruptive device. It consists of a bioresorbable patch that navigates through the aorta, bends at the entry tear, adheres against the aorta, plugs the leak, and then initiates a local regeneration of the aorta. We have designed the entire system, including the catheter, the deployer, the patch, and its adhesive. Our dream is becoming true, and we have already demonstrated in animals and in the lab that a solution can work. The patch adheres to the aorta, and our adhesive is 10,000 times stronger than blood flow. The catheter and the deployer navigate through the aorta as smoothly as any endovascular treatment. Physicians do not need to relearn anything. The patented microstructure of the patch assures two things. First, there's no mechanical mismatch between the aorta and our device. And second, the structure promotes aortic regeneration, and cells can easily climb on the patch and recolonize it. The future is exciting. We're now raising an 8 million euro Series A to complete the regulatory test, the preclinical, and put in motion our quality management system. We will start a first-in-human trial by the end of next year, and once this is done, we'll go worldwide to do a study, a multi-scientific study with more than 150 patients to reach the FDA clearance and American market in 2025. After that, we'll reach the European, Canadian, and Australian markets in 2026, China and Japan for 2027. We have already started contacting distributors to generate sales traction as soon as we get the regulatory approvals, because the market is worth it. Only focused on aortic dissection, it will reach more than 550 million in 2025. Our technology will further evolve to treat aortic aneurysms for a combined market of more than $3 billion. We have a profitable business model based on a better product, but also cheaper cost of goods. And we can guarantee a gross margin of 95%. Thanks to that and to our network of distributors, we'll generate a sales traction with an M&A exit in mind. M&A transactions are common in the EORIC field. However, these solutions are barely incremental and far from optimal. Imagine the value of a real disruptive invention. If you are not an investor, please live a healthy life to reduce the risk of suffering an aortic disease. If you are an investor, then trust us and support us to give a better life to aortic disease patients. In all cases, think aorta and think aortics.
Well, thank you, Jordi. Thank you for the presentation, Dr. Martorell. And now it's time for Q&A again, okay? So please, Dida, is there anything you would like him to expand or clarify?
Yeah, thank you, Jordi, for the presentation. It's a very interesting approach. I had some questions on the durability of the technology, and I was wondering if you could say a bit more on that. So once the biomaterial has been resorbed, so the patch has been resorbed, is the newly formed endothelial layer strong enough to prevent recurrence of the dissection, and can you repatch if something goes wrong?
So thank you so much, Dida, for the questions. So yes, this is what the first-in-human trial will demonstrate, how strong this layer is. We're not worried about the endothelial layer. We're worried about the layer below, which is the smooth muscle cell layer, which is the one that is most affected by the dissection. And there, we expect that the growth factors from the smooth muscle cells are able to generate the traction to recolonize and strengthen these smooth muscle cells. We can repatch, and actually we can repatch or even add other patches, because sometimes there's not only one entry tear, but there's 2 or 3 entry tears. So one of the things that we'll try during our first-in-human trials is to see if we, in people with different entry tears, if we can patch different areas. But in theory, we should, because our patch is small enough to cover several parts of the aorta.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Martorell. Thank you for the answer. You can go. And now we have drop-light technologies that will be presented by its CEO, André Guedes. André, the screen is yours.
Good morning. Thank you, Oriol, for the introduction. Thank you to everybody attending the event, and of course to ACCIÓ for organizing it. My name is André Guedes. I'm the CEO of Drop-Light Technologies, a biotech company developing a novel medical diagnostics device that in a matter of minutes can detect and quantify different diseases and health conditions. We are a very young and dynamic startup. We constituted in 2018 in Barcelona. We are a spin-off of the Institute of Photonic Sciences, and we are now a team of 6 people located in the Parc Científic de Barcelona. A little bit about the team. So we are an amazing group of 6 people with a proven experience in entrepreneurship, in biotech, in engineering, in technology. And we are also supported by also an amazing team of advisors with different experience in the different sectors we are touching. A little bit about the traction we have been getting this year mainly. So we won a few awards already this year, a few grants, and we have been collaborating with key stakeholders in the sector, in the biotech sector, in particular 2 major hospitals here in Barcelona. We've also been featured a few times on the news, which is great, both in European news, Spanish and Catalan news. But let's get to the chase and go to what really matters, the technology, the problem we are trying to solve. So we are basically looking for an efficient alternative to the classic laboratory tests that work great, but they are slow and they are quite complex. In particular, there's one sector we are exploring, which is the fertility treatment sector, where a woman on an ongoing fertility treatment needs to visit the clinic every 2 days to test and quantify her hormone levels. And she does it today in a laboratory setting. She needs to take a full tube blood from the arm, send it to the central lab. It requires skilled technicians, and it takes hours, if not days, to generate results. Well, we want to solve this problem. using the device we invented, the smart testing device that promises to do is exactly the same diagnostic with the same quality, but taking only 10 minutes, doing it in a fully automated way, and only taking 1 drop of blood from your finger. The device is based on the concept of different cartridges and 1 universal reader. So we have all these different microfluidic cartridges designed to address different diseases, hormones, allergies, whatever we are trying to detect. This is where we place a drop of blood, and then we insert the cartridge in our reader that will automatically perform the test and give you the results directly on the screen. The high-impact markets we are exploring, the main one I already explained, the fertility treatment market, where we can quantify very fast these sexual hormones that are required for these treatments. This is a growing market, unfortunately, because people are having more and more issues having kids. Now, there are 50 million couples with fertility problems today, but this is not the only sector we are touching, so also rapid detection of allergies, infectious diseases, of course the COVID is here, also we have a project in malaria, and a strategic market, veterinary. Now a very cool slide where we show you our prototype, just so you see how real it is. So this is a proof of concept prototype. You can see that we place the microfluidic cartridge, and then, of course, we input the blood, and then we basically wait 10 minutes. This is what we have right now, but it's not a product yet. So we need, we have some development to be done so that we reach the MVP in 2021. In terms of competition, very quickly in the fertility sector, as you can see, it's totally dominated by the lab solutions, dominated by the main farm and diagnostic companies. They work great, but they are slow, right? And our device promises to be much faster and easy to use. We have, of course, patented the technology. We are compatible with low-cost manufacturing, and we have a flexible design that allows us to use our cartridges for different applications. We have a B2B business model, so we don't sell directly to the hospitals, to the clinics, we sell to strategic partners. Let's imagine to Merck in fertility, and Merck is going to use their sales channels to put our product in the different clinics and hospitals. Our roadmap, we are now focused on the industrial design and manufacturing development of our MVP to be ready in 2021, and then we're going to enter the clinical trials in fertility, and then our strategic market, veterinary, that will allow us to reach the market a little bit earlier in 2022. All of this, of course, is only possible with money, so that's why we are raising our seed round. So I jump to the last slide, the task. So we are raising €800,000 seed round. We already have 170 committed from business angels. So if you like the project and you like to support us and help us reach this MVP and extend our validation studies, please contact us. We'll be glad to have you on board. We are Droplight. Thank you very much for your time.
Nice job, Andre. Nice job. It's Q&A time again, okay? Please, Clara Campas from Asavis Partners. Do you have any question?
Yes, I do. So thank you, Andre, for this presenting this interesting technology. And I really would like to ask you if you could perhaps explain us a little bit more. I think it's really clear which are the advantages of Droplight technology with regards to the current available technologies in the market. But you also explained that there are other technologies that are being developed. So for these other technologies that are being developed, what do you think is the main or the mains competitive advantage of Droplight technology with regards to these others that are in the race of facing the market?
Yeah. Thank you, Clara, for the question. So it is indeed a very competitive landscape. There's a lot of diagnostic companies trying to do similar things in different sectors. Now, we are focused on immunoassay. There's also PCR. There's cell counting. There's a lot of things being done. Unfortunately, today, if you want to do this type of test, there's still not a solution available. People are required to the lab. And we really believe that we have something different. So the technology, of course, now is we found a new way to quantify these biomolecules. It's an optical sensor that we patented. Also, we made a huge effort to make it compatible with low-cost manufacturing. This is very important. A lot of companies have failed because the systems were very complex, and when they want to produce millions of these units, they have an issue with costs. And also, now we come from years of research at the Institute, and this is also that brings something to the table, technology that is proven and is reliable. So because of this, we believe we have something different. Thank you.
Andre, thanks for the answer. I've also have been able to understand it, okay? So you can leave the stage right now. And the last startup of this field is Roca Foradada, that it will be presented by Judith Camargo, its founder and CEO. Judith, the virtual floor is yours.
Thanks. Roca Foradada's mission is to develop active ingredients to prevent skin diseases related to sun exposure, and with a special interest to reduce secondary effects in humans and the environment. This is key for regulators, but also for current players and also for customers. This is our team, a very well-balanced mix between science and business expertise. 8 people working full-time to achieve our first goal to reduce the incidence of skin cancer, but with taking care of the environment. Because 1 in 3 diagnosed cancers are skin cancers, and estimates predict 2.5 million new cases each year globally in 2040. The good news is that 85% are preventable. So UV filters are the active ingredients in sunscreens that protect us from ultraviolet radiation. Current sunscreens manufacturers have to choose between natural solutions that are non-toxic for humans and also environmentally safe, but they are not enough to protect us from sun exposure because they don't have to compete with the highest standards of UV filters. And current UV filters that are toxic to humans and also environmentally polluting, but also they are not enough to protect us from skin cancer. So we have to choose between environment or safety. And this is important because current regulators and also in more countries are progressively banning the existing solutions. So we have the solution, Smart UV. Our UV filters patented are able to absorb UVB radiation and through a photochemical transformation become UVA absorbers. The final component is the broadband filter that with great absorption capabilities, and also it has the capacity to increase SPF depending on the radiation exposure. So it's like a polarized sunglass. We encapsulate our UV filters in order to prevent their release at systemic level in humans and also to the environment. And this technology is also patented. So we have solved 2 issues for regulators. Our UV filters are non-toxic for the environment, but also are non-toxic for humans. And this is what we are different. This is what we are unique. We have developed 4 molecules that cover the entire UV spectrum, so we can substitute all the existing UV filters, and this is a game changer in the market. UV filters make up 25% of sunscreen's composition, and at present, the turnover of solar filters market is 1.8 billion, and is expected to rise to 2.1 billion in 2025. UV filters market is composed of large producers of UV filters, such as BASF or Merck, also local and global distributors that send to small and manufacturers of sunscreens, and also local and global big players of sunscreens manufacturers. These are our customers, but also could be our competitors. Our business model is B2B. We outsource the production to a shareholder and partner, an industrial partner, Menadiona, and we sell to these clients that we have already set. Also, we can have deals to license our technology to big manufacturers. The big players that can buy our products could also buy the company, and this is a possible exit of the company. We have planned an internationalization plan that is in 3 phases. First, we will sell in Europe, second in Brazil and Mercosur, and in the third phase, we will sell in US, Australia, Japan, and Southeast Asia. We plan to launch our product in 2022, and we'll reach the break-even in 2023. To do so, we need 1.5 million. We have already secured a part of it, but we will be delighted if you can join us. So this is what we are asking to you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, well done, Judith. Last Life Sciences Q&A, okay? So let's move to Antonio's from Inbarredi's question.
Hi, so thank you very much, Judith, for the presentation, and congratulations for the project. It was really nice. So my question is about product pricing. Which will be the price of your products in the market, and how have you validated this pricing approach? That's my question.
Yes, the price of the product is competitive with the prices of the products that already exist. We have tested because we have done the approach with our possible customers. We have already signed some deals with customers, and they accept our price. If it's a competitive price, so we are not more expensive than the existing solutions. And also in terms of cost, the cost is really slow, is really little in comparison. So we plan to have to 55%, between 75% of margin. It will of course increase when we are selling more quantity, but I think that our strategic price is well calculated because we have checked it then with the market.
Okay. Thank you, Judith. You can go, okay? And thanks, and thanks investors for the questions. Okay, as you can all see, we are moving to the information and technology block. And I like to do what I did in the previous one. So let me introduce you the investors panel. And from the Netherlands, we have with us Mr. Edwin Hengst-Mengel, partner at Endavant. Please, Edwin, we would like to know a little bit more about what you do at Endavant.
Good morning, and it's a pleasure to be invited today. Endavant Capital is an Amsterdam-based venture capital organization. We have offices in Hamburg and Amsterdam, so we are really focused on the Dutch-speaking countries, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, as well as Amsterdam and Belgium. We tend to invest pan-European. The company has been founded by the former executive team of Endemol. As you might recollect, Endemol is from the TV production formats like Big Brother and Fear Factor. We sold the company to Telefonica, after which we founded a venture capital organization, which is really much focused on helping entrepreneurs and supporting entrepreneurs to become domain leaders in their respective fields. On the current slide, you can see that we are moving away from being a TV production company into really investors in the media marketing technology space, as well as the B2B software and services domains. Maybe you can move on to the next slide, where we try to help companies with a really international ambition to become successful with a hands-on approach and some in-depth operational and scaling expertise. I very much look forward to look at the presentations and listen to the presentation today and see if we can get energized by the pitches we will have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Edwin. Now we know more about Endavant. And from the local VC community, we have Silvia Baró, which is investment manager from Lanai Partners. So she's with us. And our last panelist is Sergio Pérez, Managing Director of Sabadell Ventures. I'm a bit frightened to kick the people in the faces, okay? But Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so now let me introduce you the first startup at this information and telecommunication and technology block. It's going to be Bitmetrics. It's going to be presented by Mark Mazzulli, its co-founder and CEO. Let the presentation begin.
Thank you, Riol. Thank you to everyone that voted us, and good morning, everyone. My name is Matt, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Bitmetrics. We are a deep tech startup based in Barcelona. We specialize in artificial intelligence, robotics, and machine vision. And we are developing technologies to give robots brain and eyes so that they can understand how to react to changes that are produced in the shop floor environment. When we go and visit manufacturing companies, we see that the vision part of the automation of a vision-based process is only between 20 or 30% of the total automation budget. But if it fails, the whole automation system fails. And this is why even engineering companies and integrators are currently providing oversized solutions just to be on the safe side so that the clients can have the technology they need, but even more than that. And this raises the financial barriers for small and medium enterprises to automate. We have also seen from visiting manufacturing companies that since the SMEs don't have, or the manufacturing companies don't have internal talent to overview these solutions, if something fails, they just switch off the camera and the solution stops working and they go back to manual. And this is what we are trying to solve by providing them with Big Plus. Big Plus is our AI-enabled robot wrist camera that allows performing random bin picking, pick and place, pick and sort solutions that can be performed in a fraction of time with a resolution of our algorithms, and are super simple to use. You can even a kid could learn to use it, and not only that, it costs a fraction of what the most advanced solutions in the market are proposing. And we are challenging also the unit sales by providing our technology as a service, because this will help small and medium enterprises access this technology. We are standing in the shoulders of giants. We have selected a low-cost sensor developed by Intel, which is fully tested in manufacturing environments, and we have developed our own luminaire, our lighting, that combined with the technology that we are experts in and that we are developing, deliver the first AI-enabled robot wrist camera that will be launched from Spain to the rest of the world. In terms of universal robots, for example, that is the robot that you are seeing in the screen, we will be the first solution from Southern Europe, including France, Israel, and other countries that you normally do not identify there. Another of the good things that Big Plus has is that we do not need 3D models. This means we can work without CADs, and we can work with organic shapes. So fruits, for example, that don't have models, they can be picked with our solution. And not only that, we can also perform visual inspection and determine if the product that the robot is grasping is in good or in bad condition. When it comes to competition, we are talking about a big market that is already growing. For 2020, it is estimated to be at $9.6 billion, and it is estimated to grow at 13 million euros by 2025. In terms of business models, I already explained, we are a B2B company, and we are transitioning from crafted solutions to a business model that is based on subscription. We are targeting SMEs with at least 30 employees and more than 3 million euros. Our revenues come from direct and indirect sales, and we have already raised 320,000 euros. We are currently burning 15,000 at a month. This means that we are a small team and we count with good advisors, both on the technical board and also on the business board that challenges our solutions. Our current round is of €250,000, and we expect to close it by December this year to launch our product in June 2021. Join us. This will be the first opportunity to launch a camera, an industrial intelligent camera from Spain. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mar. It's question and answers time again. Okay, so please, Edwin, go ahead with your question or comment.
Yeah, thank you, Mar, for the clear presentation. My main question would be around your sales approach. So could you elaborate a little bit on how you plan to do your direct sales and perhaps also your indirect sales?
Yes, we're currently working with distributors and also with integrators because they will be the prescribers of our technology. We acknowledge that the end client will not buy the solution by themselves. They will need to approach someone else that provides them with a camera for a test, for example, and those will be our channels. And in the future, we want to provide our product as a service. That means that it will be cloud-based, the intelligence that we will be producing, and therefore we need to still develop the platform that we are already building as another product that I didn't mention before.
Okay, thanks, Mark. That was a good answer. Okay, you can leave the stage. And now the next company is going to be Bankdeu, and it's going to be presented by William McKay. It's co-founder and COO. Go.
Hi, I'm Will from BNC10, and today I'm going to take you through who we are at BNC10, what we do, and why you should invest in us. So, who are we at BNC10? Well, BNC10 is a banking alternative for not just millennials, but for everyone. And we came into the market a little over a year ago, and in that time, probably the best way to show you what we've achieved is by the graphic on the right there. The screen's changing between a current account, the virtual card, as well as peer-to-peer payments in the platform. Through the platform, we offer a Spanish IBAN account, a prepaid debit MasterCard, payments from Google Pay and Apple Pay. We also charge no exchange rate commissions, and we offer free ATM withdrawals on a monthly basis. Inside the app, we also offer analytics to track your spending and shared accounts, the first fully digital shared accounts in the market. And all of this we've rolled out over the first year and managed to achieve more than 45,000 activated accounts. And those active accounts have transacted more than 30 million euros through the platform, something that we're very, very, very proud of. So, why invest in BNC10? We've proven over the last year that we can grow consistently, and we believe that's very important. However, growth is not everything. We believe in sustainable growth, and we've proven that by having a CAC under 15 euros for the last year. We believe in growth through sustainable growth through monetization, something that we believe we differentiate to the first wave of challenger banks, such as N26 and Revolut. We've been able to monetize a lot earlier than the other players, and we believe that this is the key for the future sustainability of the market. What's more, we also target a higher age group between 30 and 50-year-olds, meaning that they have a higher willingness to pay and therefore a higher lifetime value for BNC10. Part of our revenue model includes another point of differentiation, which is the pay-per-use products and services. We're launching this quarter insurance products on the platform, as well as investment products. That'll include smartphone insurance, mobility insurance, and digital investment products. The other form of revenue that we already have live is interchange fees, and something that we plan to launch early next year is banking as a service, for which we'll charge licensing fees. Another point of differentiation is that we believe we offer a very fair valuation, something that we have proven with our recent crowdfunding campaign through Crowdcube. One of the benchmarks in the markets compared to the other challenger banks is the valuation per user. And as you can see on the slide, we offer less than half of the valuation per user of the first wave of challenger banks, something that we believe is very important. So on to next steps for BNC10. We were overwhelmed and thrilled by the response to the crowdfunding campaign that we just closed. We were able to achieve more than £700,000 and more than 700 individual investors invested in BNC10, which really proves our valuation and proves that we have traction in the market and people believe in the business model. All of that money and the Series A that we're here looking for is to fund the next steps of BNC10, which we see as expansion to Europe and to Latin America. We are currently more than 80% of our customer base is within Spain, but we are also already in more than 20 countries throughout Europe. And this is enabled by our license, which we rent from a provider in Ireland. We also plan to continue to offer pay-per-use products and continually roll that out for 2021. Probably the biggest use of funds will be our license, electronic money license in Belgium, which we have already begun the application, and that's due for the mid-2021, as well as our first use case for offering banking as a service. The funds will be allocated, as you can see, the vast majority being to the electronic money license and the operations needed for that. And we are looking for more than 5 million euros with a minimum ticket size of 250,000. We still have some tickets left, and we would love you to invest. And here is the team, pre-COVID days, all looking very, very happy. We're still very happy, but we're working obviously remotely. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks, Will. Thank you for your presentation. We still are happy, and we're gonna be more happy. So now it's time for Lanai Partners, Sylvia Barrow's question. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Hi, good morning. Congratulations on the project and on the presentation, Will. I like a lot the fact that you put ahead very clearly how you're gonna differentiate from the other players like N26, Revolut, and even I guess BNet, considering that we're gonna be focusing on the monetization. And my question would be more to know what would be the strategy to retain all the customers, since
Yes, I can hear you.
To retain all the customers. Why should I stay with you instead of swapping to another competitor?
Yeah, a fantastic question. Through the points of differentiation that I mentioned, which was really on the point of monetization as early as possible, the other key strategic objective for BNC10 over the next 6 to 12 months is engagement with the platform. Really increasing the number of monthly active users is equal as the top priority within BNC10, because only then can you continue to monetize the user base through targeted products. And so the insurance products, the investment products that are targeted at our key target range of customer is part of the monetization. But really allowing customers to extract, or utility providers, for example, incentivizing people to put their salaries into BNC10 and have expenses extracted is part of the other part of the strategic objective of BNC10.
Okay, thank you, Will. That was a very well self-explanatory answer.
Excellent.
You can go. Thank you. And well, and the last startup of the ITC field is StockCrowd Technologies, presented by Sergi Pallarès, its co-founder and CEO. The countdown starts, Sergi.
Hi, hello everybody. First, thanks to all for your votes. I'm Sergi Pallarès, the CEO and the co-founder of StockCrowd. So in StockCrowd, we developed and sell a fundraising software with our SaaS charities, hospitals and research centers, universities and business schools, and cultural institutions are getting donations directly from their digital channels. Our customers like to say that we are their fundraising WordPress because they can up and run an amazing campaigns within a short time. We provide transparency in the money flow as well as in the data ownership, which means that in our software, the money is moving directly from the donor's pocket to the customer's bank account, and the data is owned by the customer, which makes our proposal much more attractive if you compare with traditional crowdfunding platforms. Additionally, we have services to help our customers to fundraise, as well as third-party integrations, which makes our pack much more attractive. The company was founded by Javier and I, and we currently have a team of 29 people working in 3 offices. The main one is in Barcelona, the other ones are in London, are in Mexico. And so far, our customers already raised 50 million euros using 11 currencies. We currently have active customers in Spain, UK, Mexico, and Colombia. And with these customers, we basically apply a subscription business model. Our customers are paying us a setup and a monthly fee, which depends on the price plans they select, and then we charge as well a variable fee, which depends on the amount they raised. And therefore, applying this business model, we have the following figures. We currently have 132 active customers, and we have a 63,000 MRR, and I would like to highlight that the turnover for this year is much more bigger than the one we reached last year. And basically, this is because of actions like this one. From March to June, we decide to let customers and non-customers to use our software for free. And that was what we thought at that time we had to do as a company to support the aggressive and the pandemic context we are living. So it was amazing because we onboard 35 new customers in a very short period of time, and 50% of them became paid customers after they finish the free period of software use. Our business is basically based on the donation market, which is a huge market. It's more than 400 billion worldwide market yearly. Here you have the figures of the size of the market in Spain, in Europe, UK, LATAM, and USA. So we are currently facing a financial round, and we want to work in different areas. We want to improve different areas. The first one is the technology. We want to apply some type of predictive algorithm. So imagine that the customer can know how much or how the campaign will perform before to launch. We will also finish the Salesforce native integration. We think that being part of Salesforce application marketplace is very interesting. Obviously, we would like to open new countries and we would like to open new markets, and we think that it's very interesting to go into the CSR programs. We can have the ability to become a tool for corporates to build their CSR programs. So we are, as I said, we are currently facing the financial round. We would love to onboard an institutional investor that can help us to fine-tune the company and prepare us for the Series A. So we are currently looking for about 1.5 million. And finally, this is the challenge. This is where we would like to go. We think that we can become the standard as a tool in the CSR program, which means that imagine a company can go to a marketplace and build its CSR program just connecting with the causes aligned to their SDGs. So this is where we would like to go. Somehow we will make a transition from the pure SaaS to the marketplace. And that's all from my side. Thanks a lot, and ready for questions.
Well, okay, so the next question is going to be from Sergio Pérez from Sabadell Ventures. Sergio, go ahead with your question, please.
Hello, Sergi. First of all, congratulations for the presentation. I would like to know, of course, when you target non-profitable organizations, I understand that your tool is very useful, but what happens when you tell, I mean, there's not a confusion in the website that a brand can be financial channel?
Sergio, can you repeat this final question because we had some problem when hearing you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the idea is that, do you have some problems with you targeting to brands? If you apply the website, your tool in the website, there can be some problems because the customer can be confused between the brand and to look for financial.
Well, thanks, Sergio. Not sure if I have well understood the question because I somehow I lost the signal. But the thing, Sergio, if I have well understood your question was if we have problems when we implement the technology in the websites. This is part of our secret sauce. The thing is that if you have a brand, if you have a good online position, and if you have a community, it makes more sense to keep your brand under control and to keep your data under control and mobilize your community in your channels instead of going to a third-party platform. So hope I answered correctly your question. So sorry, Sergio, because I couldn't hear you well.
Okay, Sergio is saying that it was well answered. So Sergi, you can leave the stage.
Thank you.
And Edwin, Silvia, and Sergio, thank you for your questions and for being here with us. Okay, so the ITC block is over. Well, and finally, it's time for the last 3 startups of this investment forum, the ones from other technologies. Again, let me introduce you our investors panel. And coming from the Netherlands, we have Mr. Peter van Gelderen, partner from ICOS Capital. Gonna kick you again, Peter? Okay, so Peter, give us please more insights on what you do in ICOS Capital, what you're looking for, please.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well. Okay, nu ook in de stream.
Ik ga nu je panel in.
So Peter, we've missed you. So shoot up again. Okay, go.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Peter van Gelderen, one of the partners at ICOS Capital. We are a fund based out of the Netherlands. We're looking at investment propositions in the Series A, B, and C stage, where we have a focus on the agri-food, chemicals, and materials space. We have a collaborative corporate venturing fund, is what we call it. We work with a couple of corporations that have good background in these markets, and they help us assess the investment opportunities. But they also help our portfolio companies to faster scale to successes. And we believe, especially in the industrial segments of the market where we are active, it is very important to have those big corporates to make deals with in order to grow from, say, $1 million of revenue to a couple of tens of millions of revenue. And that's really make the difference between a company with some interesting customers to a company with access to the world markets and the capability to realize a good exit for investors. In our current fund, ICOS 3, we have already invested in 7 companies, as you can see on the slide. They're in the industrial digitization, the CO2 capturing, the biosurfactants, food ingredients, and plant-based proteins segments of the markets. So those are areas that we believe are hotspots in our markets. And in the earlier funds, we have also invested in water technology, in another chemical company, and in food ingredients. So we have about 8 to 10 more deals that we want to do in the next 3 years, and we're looking at all of Europe. So also interesting in what's going on in Spain and in Catalonia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Peter. So if someone from the audience wants to contact you, they can do it just now. So our local investors are Roma Jelinskaite, investment manager at La Caixa Capital Risk. So gotta kick it harder. Okay. Hi, Roma, you are here with us. And then we have Darío Villena, investment analyst from Swan Lab. Thanks for attending the forum today. Okay. So let me introduce you the first startup of this other technologies field. The startup is called Advanced Air Mobility, and it's going to be presented by Artur Martín, its CEO. Please, tell us what you do and what you are looking for.
Thank you, Joel. So welcome, everybody. My name is Artur Martín, CEO and co-founder of Advanced Air Mobility. More than 4 billion people live in crowded, polluted cities in the world, and by 2050 will be 7 billion. Current urban model is about to expire. We need a new development plan, greener, smarter, and more affordable for everyone. We manufacture amazing flying cars that can be purchased by any normal person to help busy urban people to solve the problem of daily commuting time with a greener, more efficient, and cheaper vehicle. We have developed an advanced mobility solution for on-demand personal air commuting that can reduce your traveling time by 1/4 or expand your commuting range to more than 200 kilometers for a better territorial development. Our solution is a new generation light aircraft for personal air mobility with high performance, stall capability, fully autonomous, and environmentally friendly. Same performance as a helicopter, but 50 times cheaper. Our competition is doing a really great job with really complex projects. Simplicity is a must. So our solution is based on a unique advanced aerodynamic solution, a fixed-wing aircraft with extremely stall capability, able to take off and land from less than 50 meters. Simple production, simple design, and simple operation for a lower cost solution. Potential market is huge. It's really huge. We estimate in a conservative way that it could be around 0.3% of current automotive industry. That means 300,000 aircraft a year. With just a 10% of that market, we'll sell 30,000 aircraft a year. It's like 100 times today's capacity production of a light aircraft manufacturer. Special consultancy firms forecast that this new market will value $100 billion. So this is the future. Okay, in the short term, our strategy is similar to Tesla One. So we will start with a high-value business-to-customer model in the existing market of the ultralight aircraft. Then, in the long term, with a price introduction policy, we will open the opportunity for the future mass market, targeting the medium premium car industry with a mobility as a service, business-to-business model. Then, urban air mobility for everyone. We have already designed, built, flown, and validated the scale prototype. We are currently working in a managed model that will be in the US market by the end of next year with the support of ACCIÓ. And then certification process with EASA and FAA, the aviation authorities. Our realistic approach in the short term will support the profitability of the project, achieving the EBITDA break-even point in the second year after certification. Then, in the long term, scalability of the mass market production will rocket revenues and profits. We have the best team, including my colleague, Carlos Martí, more than 30 years in aviation experience, and also acrobatic pilot. And myself, aeronautical engineer, MBA, and aviation visionary. Then our enthusiastic team of aeronautical engineers is led by Adrià Pi, and we count with the support of the Polytechnic University of Catalunya. Finally, our experienced advisors covering all the technical business films. So now I want you to close your eyes and dream. Imagine that you work in Barcelona, but you live in a really nice house close to the beach in Mallorca or in the Pyrenees. And then every day you really have to make a personal meeting in Barcelona, you book our service and then fly directly from home to the office in a comfortable flight, reading, watching Netflix, sleeping or working It's amazing. So we bring you the opportunity to invest in urban air mobility with a project with short-term monetization, thanks to our realistic time-to-market approach, and then long-term, high present value. Airbus, Boeing, but also Tesla, Mercedes, Toyota, they are taking positions. So join us. Welcome to the new era of personal air commuting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aitor. Nice presentation. I was also thinking and imagining about that, that flight, that pleasure flight to work. Okay, so now please, Peter, is there anything you would like Aitor to expand or clarify?
Yes. Also, thanks from my side. Very, very fascinating concept, and it looks really beautiful. And I'm looking forward to be actually in it. One thing I'm wondering: am I going to fly myself? Do I need like in my car? I need a driver license. Do I need a flying license? And is that going to be the same for any type of machine? You showed some competing machines. Is it going to be the same for everybody?
Okay, Peter, good question. We have, let's say, like 3 different stages. The first stage is that currently regulation asks us to have a pilot on board. In the future, regulation is coming, and it will be ready in 2023. So we will be able to fly in an autonomous way. So no pilot on board. We will just take this flying cap, and move from one side to the other. In the short term, we will need a pilot license for ultralight aircraft. That is very, very simple to get. But so we have this existing market that is related to the conventional aviation, and will need a pilot on board. And then the coming future that is very, very close, we will just put on the platform, aerial platform, and move from one place to the other. So that will be for everybody.
Okay, thanks, Aitor, for your answer. You can go.
Thank you, Bill.
And now the next company to present is going to be Global Candas, and that will be presented by Alejandra Freites, its founder and CEO. The screen is yours, Alejandra.
Thank you. Hi. Well, hi, I'm Alexandra. I'm the CEO and founder of Global Candas. What's Global Candas? We are not a web tracker. We are the first software that manage all the maritime logistic processes in one place. Nowadays, there are big companies that handle between 100 and 600 containers per month. They have to search in a lot of platforms to have a complete information. Actually, today, an user have to search every container one by one, in every shipping line, one by one. As Global Candas is connected directly to the ERP of the customer, we can provide internal information or sensitive information like purchase or sales orders number, product name, product code, Incoterm, suppliers, final customer, etc. And all the information that the user needs for their own traceability. And also, we save money and fines. What makes us unique and competitive? As I said before, we have 7 added values. First, we are connected to the ERP, to the customer ERP. All-in-one means that we are connected to the not only with ERP, with all the shipping lines and PCS, Port Community Systems. So we have everything in just one platform. Robotizing and monitoring all the processes in the same place, saving time and money. Models and alarms, and it makes improve all the internal procedures. Mobile application, we are the only one. We have the idea to improve the impact on the environment, creating a new model to reduce the CO2. To reduce the CO2 in future. And with everyone means that we can work with all the freight forwarders, we are connected with all the shipping lines. Roadmap product. We already launched our first version last year, and now we are improving our second version. This version means creating more disruptive alarms and models. A predictor with artificial intelligence, attaching documents, alarm documents, temperature, humidity control, weather provision, and in future create 2 more integrations with trucks and aircrafts and 2 more models for dispatch. Our customers. Current customers, we have 3 big current customers and 3 distribution contracts already signed. One of them is to expand our brand in Latin America. We have at least 10 interested customers nowadays around the world. About our customer target, all the companies that import and export with a minimum of 50 containers per month. We at least detect 7 sectors worldwide, and only in Spain there are 255,000 companies. How do we bring it to the customer? We go first, do sponsorships. We have been impressed in magazines, collaborations, personal networking, and commercial visits, and distribution contracts. Comparative competitors. We can see in blue the shipping lines, in green the web trackers of freight forwarders, and it's definitely today most of the shipping lines are creating tracking of their containers, but only of their containers. As we know, any customer is loyal to any shipping line or any freight forwarders. Actually, shipping lines don't have internal information, freight forwarders either. So Global Canvas is in the first position of the big chain. Roadmap, market, and milestones. We launched our first version last year. We won the first prize in the University of Barcelona. Today, we are improving the second version. We get the interest of Europe and Latin America, and we are doing everything to have an international consolidation. So in 2024, we can have an international market expansion. Our team, we have a team of 12 members. All of us are seniors, engineers, and we have a CTO, a team leader in charge of 3 more developers, a product manager, and a designer. Our business model, annual licenses per user. We have 5 ways of monetization, 88% of gross margin, and a very not invasive integration. Our investment details, we already have detect our needs, principally in marketing campaign, other expenses like improving versions and servers, together with R&D and team. Join us and welcome on board to this huge project. Thank you.
Nice speech, Alexandra. And now let's hear the question made by Roma from Caixa Capital Risk.
Hi, Roma.
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much for presentation. That's very interesting. I think you are trying to solve very actually interesting problem and worldwide and global. So that's why my question goes to scalability. How are you going to scale your business around the world, and how are you going to adapt, let's say, to all the integration problems and, of course, different logistic procedures in different countries? Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice question. About our integration, we are integrated with all the shipping lines and integrated with all PCS, or the port community systems. So we are every year improving all these connections so we can have all the information in the same place. So the user don't have to search in several platforms detailed information. So I think this is how we are doing this part of integration, and integration with the customer. It's very easy because we have an API or SCUB. I don't know if this responds your question or.
Yes, thank you very much.
It was
You're
a
welcome.
crystal clear question, Alexandra. Thank you very much. You can go right
Thank
now.
you.
Okay, and now we have the last startup of this investment forum, of this 25th edition of the investment forum. And this startup is Smart Monkey, which is going to be presented by its CEO, Xavier Ruiz. The audience is yours.
Thank you. What do they have in common? Volkswagen, Heineken, and Canasta Rosa. Apart from being customers, they've been doing an extremely important process, which is the last mile planning in a completely manual way, the same as 100 years ago. What about now? With Heineken, we've demonstrated savings over 30% of kilometers traveled. With Volkswagen, reduce 25% of the cost of the spare part distribution network. And with Canasta Rosa, an important e-commerce in Mexico, increase their delivery time over 96%. Why this is important? Because companies who provide a great last mile service will realize significant benefits. And this is exactly our mission: improve the delivery experience, not just for the final customer, but as well for the driver and for the managers. So let me talk about the real problem of the last mile. Logistics are chaotic, and companies and people had to take decisions in a matter of seconds, what means that at the end, take most of the times not the most efficient decision. Smart Monkey wants to be the tool in order to get these decisions in real time and at the most efficient level possible. What makes us unique? A solution of self-learning system which enables us to learn and understand how customers behave. How much time does it take to do a delivery? When is the best moment to serve a customer? With this information, plan routes not just efficient, but at the same time adapted to the customer needs, and provide the right tool to the driver to achieve maximum performance. How we do it? We grab as much information as we could in order to create the logistics knowledge base, an incredibly valuable asset for companies, and crack it in order to get the 30% efficiency increments. Of course, we are not alone. We have competitors in our market, but our customers take these specific things in order to decide which is the best provider. Of course, price, it's a top priority. And here we have one of our accounts extremely cheap in order to get them on board, try it, and want more and growing together. But what makes us more unique is the way we have our product. Our user interface is extremely easy to use. We have customers that in less than 2 hours, they put their entire operations in production. And as well, support in their natural language, it's extremely valuable for them too. How we make money? We charge per each vehicle and for each place that we learn from. Easy to understand for our customers. No surprises at the end of the month. And how we get them? We've divided into direct sales, and here we segment our customers between small accounts, nearly no touch points, and big accounts with our own sales force. But the way we are going to grow and we are going to get places that will be very difficult for us is with our sales channel. We have already customers, as contract signed with fleet managers and ERPs that gets opportunities that will be very difficult for us. An example, supply stack within a company called Stena Recycling in the north of Europe. These are our main markets, Spain and Latin America, which currently generates more than 75% of our revenues, but our mission is to be worldwide. These are some of our current happy customers, and we have automotive companies, we have groceries, we have e-commerce, even health. And this is the future we want to create together. We expect to achieve the break-even at the end of the year and raise a Series A in a couple of years. And this is the growth we've been generating today. We're growing quite fast, but we expect that with this round, we could grow even faster. This is the team who make this possible. We have experience in logistics, we have experience in artificial intelligence, and we have experience managing technical teams. My name is Xavier Ruiz. I'm the CEO and founder, and I have experience in managing complex and analytical teams. So what we are looking for, 300,000 euros, which we already have 180,000 secured. To do what? To increase our sales teams, we have the product ready for the market. Companies are extremely satisfied with us, so we just need to get more.
And of course, we have a great product roadmap, and we need to develop fast. And for last, we have an approved loan from ENISA, which makes us to close this round at the end of the month. So don't miss the opportunity and join the future of logistics.
What an amazing presentation, Xavier. Okay, and now last forum Q&A, and the one from Darío Villena from Swan Lab. Go ahead, Darío.
Hello, Xavier. Hello. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for the pitch. It was really clear. I have one doubt. How are you going to manage the exit strategy, or what is the end goal for your company, for Smart Monkey?
Thanks for the question. Smart Monkey had several options on the exit. Obviously, a buyout and an acquisition from another company. We are right now working on these agreements of collaboration, which probably will end up in acquisition in order to block the buyer competitors for our company, our services.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Xavier. You can leave. That was the last startup of the Investment Forum, and thank you, investors, for your questions. And now it's awards time. The first one is the Career Trajectory Award, an award that its goal is to recognize people that have founded companies that innovate, that internationalize, that employ people, okay, and also that give back to the community, doing good. The jury, as you can see, was formed by Fernando Zallo from Esareban, Joe Sanfaliu from Asavis Partners, Mercè Tell from Neco Capital, and Roger Piqué from Inverready, and also by Joan Romero, ACCIÓ's CEO, who is here with us. Hi, Joan.
Good morning, Oriol.
Hi. Now that we are here together, maybe let's watch the video of the winner, and the winner is, due to the jury's result, is Julio Castro from Palo Biopharma. Let's watch the video together that Julio sent us.
Bueno, pues primeramente agradecer a ACCIÓ el premio. Un premio a trayectoria empresarial significa que ya tienes una edad, pero siempre se agradece un premio de este calibre. Seguidamente agradecer a familia, amigos y colaboradores de Palo Biopharma, sin los cuales este premio claramente no hubiera sido posible. Tercero, agradecer a mis inversores, especialmente a Inverready, que me acompañó en los inicios de Palo Biopharma y me ha acompañado en otras iniciativas empresariales. Y también agradecer a empresas e instituciones catalanas que han sido colaboradores y siguen siendo colaboradores importantes para Palo Biopharma: Almiray, Horizon, Hospital de Sant Pau, Quimos, RCD. Y quizás por último dar un mensaje de optimismo, ¿no?, a los que emprenden, a los que llegan nuevos, que tuve la oportunidad de participar en este foro de inversión hace 10 años. Éramos muy pocos emprendedores y muy pocos inversores. Y he tenido la oportunidad de vivir la evolución y el crecimiento del sistema biotecnológico catalán en los últimos 10 años, con lo que en este sentido es un buen momento para emprender. Muchas gracias.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you, Oriol. I think that we should congratulate ourselves for reaching this 25th edition of the Investment Forum. When we started out this journey, we couldn't imagine that we will reach such a milestone, or that the entrepreneurial ecosystem will have matured as much as it has. Many months have passed since then, and we are now celebrating this milestone with another forum. Although this particular forum is the first to be 100% online, it still maintains the event's characteristic spirit and status as the premier showcase for the most outstanding Catalan startups. Now it's the time you were waiting for. It's the time to talk about the prizes. I think that all the startups that have presented today are winners, but we have to choose some awards. We will start presenting the ACCIÓ Offices Award, The prize consists in being introduced to potential business partners or investors and participating in the next Web Conference 2021 in Amsterdam. This year, this award goes to 3 startups. The first one is Aortix. The second one is BNS 10, and the third one is Smart Monkey. And now we have to move to the big winner of this 2020 Investment Forum Award. And this edition, the award goes to Bitmetrics. Congratulations, Mar. So, I think that you have introduced a very interesting project. I think that all the projects that have been presented today are very good projects, but I think that we had to choose one, and your project is the one that we have decided the most interesting one in this year edition. I encourage you to take the most of this prize, which will enable you to expand and add an international dimension to your project with the help of our international network. We have to say that this prize goes with the support of 240 hours of our offices that we have abroad, a huge network of 40 offices covering 100 countries, and they are still ready to work with you and to help you with your project. They can provide you with help in Catalonia and also abroad. So thank you and congratulations, Mar.
Thank you so much.
So this prize, it's very interesting because she will have the support of our extensive network of offices that we have abroad. Okay, before bringing this session to a close, I would also like to congratulate all of those who took part and to thank the Forum's partners and sponsors for their involvement. Particularly, those who sponsored the awards, Llorente y Cuenca, and second, DWF RCD. These firms are excellent examples of how public and private partnerships are key to growing business projects. I would also like to thank our guest country, the Netherlands, for being here today, and also, of course, our team. You made it once again. We are committed to working hard to further strengthen the links between today's guest country, the Netherlands, through our office in Amsterdam. I'm very pleased with the diversity and ambition of the companies that we have seen today in fields ranging from health and life science to ICT and other technologies. They are evidence of the richness of the Catalonian entrepreneurial, industrial, and startup and investor ecosystem. This fills us with optimism for the future of Catalonia business community and competitiveness, particularly in this post-COVID-19 context that we are facing. We are aware that the world has changed. Startups are the paradigm of the new values that characterize our economy and society, such as sustainability, digitalization, flexibility, speed, and new work methodologies. They can also have a pull effect on other companies, including those of more mature tradition, especially in light of the new strategic challenges presented by our changing circumstances. Catalonia is proud of its startup ecosystem and the talent that it has. When discussing this startup ecosystem, I have always said the same thing, and it is still true. Catalonia did not feature in any ranking 7 years ago, but we were setting the stone that we have achieving today, the success that we have today. Today we can say that we are the #1 hub in Southern Europe. Barcelona now stands out as a hub for attracting international talent and is already running on the economy of the future. Catalan startups are focused on meeting the societal challenges the pandemic has helped to accelerate, and the greatest challenge of all is the combination of sustainability and technology transformation. And here we can say that we are very, very centered on these issues. For instance, 64% of the Catalan startups work in areas related to Industry 4.0. As the Minister stated, this ecosystem owes its soundness to the hard work of the founders, investors, and companies that comprise it, as well as the support it has received from the public sector over the course of 2 decades in order to consolidate a funding ecosystem designed to help our startup grow and to help the ecosystem itself to expand. ACCIÓ were there since the very beginning with different kind of support. The Investment Forum itself is a big example, 25 editions. The participation loans that form part of the Capital Concept program that we started 20 years ago. Our promotion of some of the first venture capital firms to be created in Catalonia, like Invertech, Inverready, and Isios Biofound as examples. The availability of alternative funding, renewing fintech agreements, which account for increasingly large amount of resources, or accrediting this alternative funding to give and ensure to companies that they are a good solution. The financial advice service, another thing, for instance, the SME instrument, which this week we can say that Catalonia is the leading region in the whole Europe with 4.5% of the grants awarded. And also the Business Angel Network, which contributes a significant amount of resources and knowledge in addition to funding, and also takes part on the risk of startup funders. They have very good results. For instance, last year, they made 85 investments with a total of 20 million euros invested. These results demonstrate the firm commitment to our ecosystem from the public and private sectors. Within this context, ACCIÓ plays a key role in simulating and stimulating the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We connect entrepreneurs and investors to capital, to markets, to knowledge, talent, and innovation. We also adapt to meet the needs of this ecosystem, which include the following: to become better known, to attract international companies and talent, which we do via Road to Barcelona program by attracting international venture capital firms and through other initiatives, to have a sound structure, which we have achieved through the creation of innovation hubs. These hubs create a peer effect, which can also result in the attraction of new strategic projects from abroad, and to promote a technology-oriented entrepreneurial culture among young people. We are therefore aware that the startups are among the main drivers of innovation in our ecosystem. They are not only drivers, but they are vital. Nowadays, without startups, there will be very little innovation. Consequently, we also need to improve the relationship between disruptive technology and startups, which is why we are continuing promoting the Catalonia Exponential program. Catalonia and Barcelona form the #1 hub for startups in Southern Europe and must continue to do so. We want to continue to grow the ecosystem by facilitating entrepreneurs access to funding instruments and contacts and providing support so they can find and retain talent and knowledge. We can do this by bringing together all of the ingredients to make the ecosystems grow even more. To further this aim, ACCIÓ has set a series of highly ambitious targets for 2030. On one side, we want to reach 4,000 startups. We want 400 scale-ups, and we want 15 unicorns. Now we have 30, so these are very ambitious targets. The Startup Catalonia strategy will also help us to reach this goal. Once again, I would like to congratulate the participants and winners, and I will also like to thank them not only for being here today, but also for being part of the solid and increasingly more mature community that makes up Catalonia's entrepreneurial ecosystem. I hope that the networking sessions you have taken part through this week have been of value to the entrepreneurs, investors, and everyone else involved, and that they have helped to make the ecosystem grow. The aim is now to consolidate Barcelona and Catalonia's position as the #1 hub for startups in Southern Europe, and we have to build what we have to see tomorrow. So let's build tomorrow's companies today. Fem avui l'empresa del demà. Thank you for your attention. Let me leave with a special video to mark the 25th edition of the Investment Forum. Play the video.